So yeah, I mean, in terms of like the single player stuff, I'm pretty sure I can kill pretty much anything that I can kill on the ground. So like, while I could increase the damage, do I necessarily need to? At this point, I should probably just start playing into scales because there's like super bosses that I might need to take down with that. Like, there's a super boss that I don't remember being in the original game that, and maybe it was, maybe I'm losing my mind, where just during like meteor showers, there's a guy that appears here that's like level 90 something, and he doesn't come down low enough to the ground for me to fight him on the ground. I tried. Still find it weird that people are complaining about the price of the console as if it was an insanely expensive thing. It's only $50 more than Steam Deck, and we can't criticize Valve, but Nintendo. Nintendo is a funny punching bag. Yeah, I'm really surprised too. More powerful than Steam Deck as well. That's cool. Have they released enough about the hardware specs of Switch 2? I know that when the Switch 2 was first unveiled, they didn't reveal the exact hardware, and I was wondering what was going on, like, under the hood there. But have they revealed the information now, I guess? In that case, that'd be pretty good. I know that a lot of people are definitely, Steam Deck just can't run 4K at all. That is true. That is true, where you can do, like, 4K with Switch 2 in docked mode and stuff. Okay, I gotcha. I get you there. But yeah, I know a lot of people are really upset about the price of the games, and, you know, I definitely want price of games to be down and stuff as well. But, I mean, they would have to increase the price at some point anyway, and if you account for just inflation, things are about the same price. I was curious, and I kind of looked into it. So, in terms of USD, a $60 product in 2017, or just $60 of value USD in 2017, is equivalent to like $78 and something cents USD now in 2025. So in terms of raw inflation alone, it's actually about the same price as like new Switch games in 2017, interestingly enough. I also found out looking into things that the yen has been losing value compared to USD for a while, which does mean that like they make revenue in the States and they'll be getting, you know, more revenue at home when USD is worth more compared to yen. In 2017, the yen was about, from what I remember from looking it up here, it was about 110 yen per USD in 2017, whereas now, putting it through like the currency converter, I believe that Google's currency converter told me it was 245 yen compared to 1 USD. So the yen is losing USD compared to the yen is losing value compared to USD, which would mean more profit in the US if Trump doesn't, you know, muck it up. But it does also mean that if the yen is using value, that like the cost of foreign components is going to be going up. There's also the whole releasing a console in like a post-COVID world and like the increased kind of shipping kind of weird stuff that's been going on ever since COVID that kind of increases production and shipping costs and stuff like that. The games are getting more expensive to produce on more powerful hardware, and there being more stuff going on in the games themselves. And then you add like the potential risk of tariffs going on top of that, with the stuff with the states, and you know, Nintendo probably wanting a little bit of an insurance policy about, if we lose some profits compared to that. So I don't necessarily like prices going up either, but like I get it, you know. I don't think that is such an out of the blue, like, oh my god, it's so much more expensive now, Nintendo's just so greedy. It's probably about the same profit as before. In fact, it's probably less profit than before. If, like, raw inflation alone is, like, brought into 78 USD, and you're dealing with, like, a devalued yen, post-COVID world of, like, the whole, like, stuff with shipping and craziness there, the potential risk of tariffs, and just the fact that I doubt that the Switch 2 is going to be selling as well as the Switch 1. The Switch 1 was very much a reinvention of the wheel of, like, introducing this concept of home console handheld hybrid. It is now, like, a well-known, established kind of thing. Other companies have done it, like with the Steam Deck with Valve. So, there now exists competition for the Switch 2. There was no competition for the Switch 1 when it first revealed. Like, it basically had, like, a monopoly on that kind of market. That is no longer the case. Now competition exists, and now people have alternatives to buying the Switch 2. And the Switch 1 was also very much lightning in a bottle with, with it having been out for a few years by the time that COVID happened, and people wanting Switches to, like, play indoors and play things like Animal Crossing New Horizons. Like, you're not gonna recapture that lightning in a bottle. And with the Switch 2 being back compatible, there is still so many games that are available on the Switch. There was a vast library made for it, way more than the Wii U. So even if you just own a Switch 1, there's still lots of games you can get. There might still be games coming out for the Switch 1, especially with, like, third-party games, and especially with, like, indie games that aren't really gonna need, like, the extra oomph of the Switch 2. Those may as well be released on the Switch 1 as well, so you just want, like, a basic kind of gaming device, like, the Switch 1 can still do that for you, so I'm sure Switch 1s are still gonna be sold. So there's just no way that the Switch 2 does as well as the Switch 1, which means the games on Switch 2 are not going to be selling as well as Switch 1 games, I would imagine. Which means if they want to generate like the same amount of game sales, they like compared to the Switch 1, they need to make more games, which costs more money. And let's say they're selling the exact same amount of games, but they had to make more games to achieve those sale numbers. They're making less profit because they had to make more games. They had to put more into it to get it. And so, you know, across inflation, yen devaluation, the potential risk of tariffs, there being like other increased production costs with stuff with the world in general, and just the fact that there's no way that the Switch 2 does as well as the Switch 1. Again, I don't like prices going up, but I get it. And realistically, no company is going to be like, hey, we see that our bottom line is going to take like a major hit here. Like we're going to take like a major revenue loss compared to what we're getting. Let's pass those savings on to the consumer. No company is going to do that. Like, it's just not realistic. So while, of course, I would like Nintendo to do that, I would like my games to stay the same price and me not have to pay more, I don't think that you could name, like, any major business that would realistically do that. That wouldn't be, like, a Nintendo exclusive thing. Like, they're not going to be passing the savings on to the consumer as their bottom line takes a hit. They're going to be doing what they can to keep their bottom line where it's at. I'm still going to absolutely, like, criticize Nintendo for their strict, like, anti-consumer practices, like their whole stances toward their classic games, and the fact that you can never own them at subscription service only, and only these premium subscriptions, and you have to pay for online, and we're gonna inflate the value of online by putting, like, our oldest classic games behind that, and, you know, so much stuff like that. I will absolutely call out those specific kind of practices. But the general situation of just, like, price increases, again, I don't necessarily like it. I would like the prices to stay the same, but I get it. It makes sense to me. And I don't understand that, you know, the expectation that this company is going to take like a massive hit to their bottom line. Why don't they just pass those savings on to the consumer? That's such a greedy thing. Sure, you can make that argument if you want, but then apply that to literally every other company instead of just like them specifically. I'm the last person that you see going and defending Nintendo. Defending Nintendo. I think that they are one of the greediest companies around. I think they make some pretty good games sometimes. I think their services are absolute shit. They hate their players, and if you even think about playing your game in a modified way, they are going to be on your ass. They're going to be shutting down your events. I hate Nintendo. Like, I am all about, like, calling them out for greedy, awful practices. But I don't think that's the case here, honestly. Like, I'll be the person in the crowd being like, hey, let's wait a moment. I mean, I've seen a lot of people putting around the memes of, like, the whole, hey, leave the multi-billion-dollar company alone. You know, those kinds of things as people put around whenever people are trying to, like, defend Nintendo. I'm not trying to, like, defend them per se, like, in terms of my own stance. It's just, like, I get it. And if people want to criticize what's going on, criticize what's actually going on under the hood, like the deep-seated reasons behind it. Not just the surface level. The prices went up. People always will be more intimately aware of things that directly affect them. What is going on with Luna over there? That's just how it is by human nature. But yeah, there's a lot of issues with like misinformation going around and people like making assumptions about like, man, it's just so much more greed. No, it's the same amount of greed as before. It's unchanged when you actually consider these factors. You could argue that it's even less greedy when you take into account all the factors. If they wanted to be the same amount of greedy as they were with the launch of Switch 1, then games would probably cost even more than $80 USD if you actually think about it. I would like the prices to stay down. I don't see that being realistic though. And I am going, as a consumer, I am going to have to be, like, if the price increase here in Canada is like $100 or over $100 Canadian or whatever it turns out to be, I am going to have to be more selective about what games I buy. Like, I very much know that. I would like games to be cheaper. I would like to buy more games. But I get it at the same time. They're trying to adjust their profit margins to keep their bottom line where it's at instead of down, as it would be projected to be otherwise. Purely from the things we can tell, it's more powerful. Games I can understand people being angry about, but they're just coming up with anything they're asked to be even more angry about. Yeah, like the whole thingamabob with like the game key cards, where people are like, "What? The games aren't even on the cards." Bro, read the first sentence of the page that you're referencing. Game key cards are different from regular game cards, aka they are not regular game cards. This is not the norm. The bottom of the little section where it's like, you can identify game key card cases because I have this stuff on the case. AKA, this is not the norm. This is how you can identify them. And I even saw some really big names talking about that. There was a video by Moist Critical, Penguin Zero, who I do like listening to a lot of the videos of, like, when I just need something like audio-based to listen on and just hear like some crazy thing that's going on in the world that it helps me be informed about. But he took the exact same approach as just like, they're increasing the price, their greed is unimaginable, there's no other factors that play here, it is solely their greed, that is it. They're being so much more greedier than they've ever been. And that was the first half of that video, and then the second half of the video was, they don't even include the game on the cards anymore, it's all the game key cards. Bro, did you read the page? So like, I enjoy listening to him sometimes. I think that his metaphors are really funny. I'm not trying to be out here like bashing other creators, but I was really surprised to see even really, really big influential names like that spreading blatant misinformation and just, you know, regurgitating what other people have said in the echo chamber without actually taking time to look into other factors that could be behind it. Just giving like a very surface level impression based off what other people said online, rather than actually taking time to verify in any way. So I was quite surprised and disappointed to see that kind of thing from, you know, pretty big names like that. I legit can't find almost anyone criticizing Nintendo in good faith without some kind of lie or misinfo, to be honest, in this regard at least. That's what it feels like lately. And there is a lot to criticize Nintendo about. I think that they were such a scummy, shitty company. But the things that people are going after them at right now are just not the case, you know? Legit, the games being more expensive than they should be is just about the only real thing that I can criticize them here. Heard people claim that Mario Kart won't be on cartridge, and it's just like, no, yeah. I think the only two games confirmed to be on a cartridge are the Street Fighter game and the and Bravely Default remaster. I think those are the only ones so far that have actually been confirmed to be on game key cards, and the other ones won't be. But yeah, and I mean, when it comes to the whole price thing, if you want to criticize them for the price, do it for like the reasons why they're increasing the price, like at the heart of the issue. Be like, hey, those savings should be passed on to the consumer. It should be kept around the same norm, and it should be kept around like the market trends is like what other manufacturers are doing. You know, criticize them in that regard. But criticizing them in the regard is they are so much greedy than they have ever been before. One that's just not true, and realistically they're probably making less profit than they did on $60 Switch 1 games in 2017. Is just, it's ignorant is what it is. So I don't mind people going after the multi-billion-dollar company. Please do. Like, I would like them to change their ways. Please go after them and criticize them and give them incentive to change their ways. But do so with like actual real grounds, I would argue here, instead of just made up bullshit. Go after them, but have reason to go after them, not just based off of your feelings. And that's a big problem with like the gaming industry in general, is a lot of like opinions that go out there and a lot of criticisms aren't really getting to the heart of the issue a lot of the time. I see that a lot with like Pokemon discourse, where it's based solely off of feeling and not, you know, deeper underlying issues. So I think that it's just generally a larger gaming industry issue, you know? Heard people that claim that Nintendo stuck to their messaging, and quite honestly, not really. Their messaging is quite clear in most of this stuff. Like, people only read headlines probably because they do. That's probably the case. I did hear that Doug Bowser made a response about like Donkey Kong Bonanza and Mario Kart being like different prices. Apparently, like, I think that Donkey Kong Bonanza is gonna be like $70 USD, but Mario Kart World is like $80 USD. I think. I haven't had the time to like look into and verify things. And apparently his response for the difference in price didn't have anything to do with like the issues that I described, because like, why would they disclose that publicly? Instead, what he described was, you know, Donkey Kong Bonanza, it's a great game, but like, it's a single player thing that you're going to see through, and like, there's only so much content and then you're done. But Mario Kart World, like, it's a multiplayer game with like this vast open world and like so much stuff to do. You're gonna get a lot more hours out of it and stuff. And I don't really think that that's a great approach to have. I don't think that like the price of a game should be based out of the amount of hours that you can put into it. So I need to like double check and like look into this kind of thing myself. So, you know, don't be taking my word for it here. I need to like double check and verify myself. But from what I've heard on that front, if that was the approach that I took, that is kind of a shit response. And what's gonna happen to other really short games then? Should games like Metroid Dread be like, you know, $30 if they're only gonna be like an 8-hour long game? What's it gonna be, huh? Curiosity. Before I go recruit Mia, I'm curious. I've never done it before. Can I kill the Telethia? I've heard that there's like a ledge that you can stand on if you want to do like melee build stuff. So yeah, I would like prices to not go up. I want to actually be able to afford stuff a little bit easier. I know the economy's been a little bit crazy the past several years in general, especially ever since COVID. And when the economy hurts, the things that are usually going to go up the most are things like luxuries, non-essentials. And I think it kind of makes sense for gaming to do that. Is this the ledge? I remember hearing that there was some ledge somewhere. I don't think it's this one. Maybe it's this one over here or something like that. I think it's fine if games have less production value in hours, then it's fine for it to be cheaper and should be cheaper. I know it does make lower budget, smaller games. They do, but they're not always cheaper. They made it a little bit cheaper with like Mario vs. Donkey Kong, for example. They did not make it cheaper with Princess Peach Showtime.
They'll rue the day their eyes fell upon us.
This is probably the ledge. I don't know. You'll loop around. I'm gonna try fighting the Telethia. Wait, do I have TP? Wait a second. Did I build it up enough for my last fight? Dang it! I did, but like, I'm down here now. Yeah, I agree that that's just not enough. Like, if they do want to take the approach of like less hours, then it's cheaper, then fine to an extent, I would argue. Like, if you're making the argument that Mario Kart World is a multiplayer game, so you can keep on playing it over and over again, therefore it should be more expensive. I don't like that kind of argument. But if you're making like a very short kind of tailored game like something like Princess Peach Showtime, that should not cost $80 Canadian like it did here. No. Should very much not.
This one means business.
Alright. Let's see. Can I do this? I've never killed the Telethia before, but I'm gonna try with this build now. For fun. Shoot him! Oh my god, you're not shooting him. But yeah, production value is more important than hours. I agree. But they are generally pretty interchangeable. Generally, not always. Yeah, there's definitely some exceptions. And if they base it off of production value, I think that that would probably be okay. But, you know, there's definitely a lot of room for nuance. But yeah. It'll be interesting to see how the launch of the console goes. In general. There's a thing right under here. Telethia! Hello! I'll move forward a little bit so I actually shoot. Fine, do this. That'll work. Where's my ledge? Where's my stupid thing that I was at? Here it is, I think. Hard to see in the nighttime, honestly. Uh-oh.
Could this be the power-up button? This one's a ground fight.
All right, well, they're dealing with that in the air for a little bit. In the meantime, I'll be down here. They probably have to go down before the Telethia comes over here. I shouldn't have brought my teammates for this. I think that was a mistake. Yeah, hardest super boss in the game, unless Definitive Edition added new ones, I guess. Make sure I don't walk off here. I'll do a little bit, I guess. There's one down. I guess I can do that. They can do more things, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I know that there's some new ones that were added. I just wonder if there's like a new, like, toughest one. So like the original game, 60 was your max level. And here's like this level 99 super boss. Stop. Alright, Ares Prime goes down, and then hopefully you'll come over to me. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done this with my party members. Starting to think here. It'd be cool if there was a new stronger one. People to really challenge themselves. I would like that. But, I don't know. Yeah, fine. Activate Overdrive. Don't revive Celica. And then, like, I kind of want my allies to fall. I should have booted them out of my party before I did this. That'd be kind of cool. Or maybe one that's exactly at level 100. Because, like, the new level cap is 99 in this game for you to hit. After upping it from 60. That'd be cool if there was, like, a new level 100 boss. Be like, hey, there's at least one enemy that can still get higher level than you, you know?
Crap, sorry, bud.
Okay, can you come over here? Can you come over here? Maybe there's a specific way that you get the Telethia over here. Or maybe they're still going after my allies. Something. I don't know. Yeah, I think I made a mistake by bringing my allies here. I mean, yeah. But that was the way that the original was built because the original game's level cap was 60. So here was the Telethia, the Endbringer, that was 39 levels higher than you. Than you could get at max. So this game very much had that. But now that the new cap is 99, it doesn't really have that anymore unless they added a new one. Or new ones. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, just kill them, please. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully they do that. Because, yeah, do be a staple. Hopefully it's not just taken away with Definitive, the new level cap. Okay, now, like, come over here instead of just firing from afar. Do you come over here? Or you just, like, chill there and do stuff? You might just chill there and do stuff. Looks like. I could always build a good, like, Skell build to kill you. Doesn't look like you will. Dodge this one really quickly. Come over here. Come over here, dude. Come over here. Come on. 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 Darn you. So maybe the part that he freezes at, I need to basically be here. Something like that, if I want the ground setup to work. I don't know.
I need to fall back and recover.
Yeah, he's just not moving now. He doesn't even pursue me or anything. So whatever point he freezes at has to be over that spike. I'll try it one more time briefly. Otherwise, I'll just figure it out with like a Skell build some other time. Yeah, those just looking way after me. So yeah, he's gonna respawn quickly. So if I like do it from here or something.
Let's take the fight to them.
He's still kind of far. I think I need to do it a little bit more preemptively. Yeah, he's still over there, it looks like. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll wait for like the next loop around. Is he not respawning this time? Oh, he is respawning. Yeah, so maybe I'll wait for the next loop around here. Something or other. Maybe I have to like time it well. To like aggro you around here so you stop like right in front of the spike. Maybe there's a way that it can be cheesed like that. I don't know if I can work with those spikes. Maybe around here-ish? As soon as I can get them. From targeting an appendage and stuff. Okay. So does he just like chill there now? Maybe I need to be a little bit further in. Maybe what needed to happen. Yeah, I think he's a little far still.
I really do need to heal.
So a little bit closer, but like maybe it's possible that I could get him on the ground while if I can find like a sweet spot, maybe. Maybe. It's possible. Wait for you to respawn. So I think I was a little bit far back that time. Wait for our rotation around. So I was about, looking at the mini map, I can be about lined up with that pool there. Well, I can try. I don't know. I'll try it. I'll go get Mia, I'll go get the Restfeld Skell of any mission, and probably go to sleep. That's what I will probably do. Something along those lines. Telethia the Endbringer. I want to see how you build multiple builds. What, you mean like with skills? Or, come on, come on, come on.
Let's take the fight to them.
All right. This is the attempt. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Can I, like... Come on, come on, come on. Get on this stupid spike here.
Continue.
Well, please stay on here. Please stay on here. Damn you, game! Oh, man. Well,
Can we buff up and regroup?
Go
never
on,
mind.
bang.
He broke my skull before I could properly land. Whatever. Maybe I'll figure it out with a skull at some point. But I don't have a skull anywhere near strong enough yet. If I get the Ares 90, I'll be able to take some more hits at least. Will be able to be the case.
I really do need to.
Yeah, I'm down.
Well, this is...
All right, let's go get Mia. How about? This is what we do. Man. All right, well. Let's see it. Let's go get the final recruitable party member. Okay, let's get these skills back really quickly. Like that. All right. Mia time. Oh my god, it's so laggy. The sound effects happened before the thing actually happened there. Another quests I can accept over there. I may as well get in my pocket.